Hi Felicia, it's Professor Bateman. Thank you so much for submitting your concept map on time. I realize that this can almost be like reading Greek, trying to figure out how to do this. Overall, I feel like you did a nice job. I just want to review a few things with you. Now, I remember in clinical you stated that there were some issues with using the arrows. That is always very confusing for some of the students. So I'm going to show you how to do that while we're talking about your assignment here. So you had that amazing patient this week. Who was definitely older. She was 102. All of these are pretty good. I see that you put numbers on the first two. It would be great if you put numbers on the rest of them too, so I know which way you're going. Please remember that when we do this, we need to think about actual versus risk. And usually there is going to be a nursing diagnosis that is related to the actual as number one, and then the risks are later. I do realize that this older female did have a lot of risks, but really I believe that this one should be number one, the impaired memory, because the impaired memory is going to impact the risk for falls and the risk for aspirations. So how do you put in those arrows? Well, what you need to do is you need to go up to the top here, click insert. Hopefully I'm not going to make you dizzy here by moving all this stuff. And you are going to put in some symbols. So you go up here to the shapes, click on that, and then you're going to use that arrow. And you're going to, remember the arrow relates to the nursing diagnosis, so you're going to put the arrow from there to there. Then you're going to, this diagnosis impacts this diagnosis. Oh, you have to go up each and every single time. I'm just going to be, there we go. Click it again and go up in that one. And then you have to go back up and grab, I don't know if you can see this, let me bring your screen down, and then click on the arrow again, and you have to, that this impacts this one. This also impacts the risk for infection. And that should cover that one. So that is how you put the arrows in. Now it is difficult because it's hard to see the arrows, so you could change the coloring of your sheets here so that that way there is no filler. If you went back and got rid of this filler here, so that that way we could actually see the arrows. But overall, your nursing diagnoses were good. You know, you have impaired memory. It's related to the dementia as evidenced by patient verbalization of where am I, and disorientation of person, place, and time. That was very good. Now, then we go to your nursing diagnoses. And you did both your risks. I would have preferred the confusion, because if you address the patient's dementia and confusion, you could diminish the risk for falls and the risk for aspiration. Your goal is good. Your outcome, you know, you do have your time. Remember, we have to keep your diagnosis as SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, and then we have to have that time component. So you do have the time component. It is measurable. Your nursing interventions are good. The rationale is okay. What I would have preferred here is a box so that I could see it going across. and read it going across. The other thing is that for rationale, I realize that these are very good rationale, but you need to have your reference. Without the reference, it doesn't put as much power to it. So you really need to have that. And then let's just take one nursing diagnosis. Let's take the raise the head of the bed at least 45 degrees to 90 degrees while eating in 30 minutes after pain, 30 minutes after the patient has finished to ensure effective swallowing. Okay, promote swallowing and prevent choking of food. What does? You really need to put here, raising the head of the bed promotes swallowing and prevention choking of food. And then the evaluation, patient's head of bed was raised and she felt more comfortable breathing this way and experienced less coughing. That's pretty good. The next thing you want to do is then have your final, what is your final outcome? And if you had the box tool that I gave you, you would have seen that down at the bottom, was this outcome met? Was this met? So that is what I'm missing here. So overall, you did a fairly good job. Please use the tools that I gave you. They will definitely help you. And then I showed you how to use the arrows. Hopefully that was helpful. And please contact me if you have any other questions. Thanks.